Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Forward College webinar. This time around, we will be teaching you and telling you more about how to build a successful application. In case you want to revisit what was said in this webinar, we will also be recording it and we'll be sending it via email to all registered participants. We will just be waiting for a couple minutes for all the participants to be here. In the meantime, I would like to remind you that we will be having our first open day of the year in late March. So on the final weekend of March, you can still sign up and register. You can ask any questions you want during the webinar on the chat, and we will be replying. There's also an assigned time slot at the end of the webinar, so we will be going through all of your questions. Oops, sorry about that. As a reminder, once again, we are already on our third wave of applications. So if you want to apply and be considered for the 2026 intake, now is the time to apply. And all right, we will now be starting our webinar. So my name is Joanna. I'm an admissions officer at Forward College, and I am based in our Lisbon campus. And today I am joined by Clarence. He's one of our student ambassadors and currently in Paris. Clarence, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm a second year student, as you just said, in Paris, and I'm studying business and management as a double bachelor.
Thank you very much for joining us today. So for this session, we will check all of the steps on how to build a successful application. At first, we will go through what makes Forward College this unique concept, and then explaining how you can apply, going through the application form, how you should prepare for your admissions interview, and we will also touch on some common pitfalls that sometimes applicants go through during this process. Okay, so why do we value well-prepared applications? This is because we have a very selective process. And as you can see here, every year, only about 1 in every 8 applicants actually gets admitted to Forward College. So if you do have a well-prepared application that is quite consistent, that explains what you are doing, not only in class, but also aside from class, projects, and all that you think could be interesting for a college application, that will make sure that you have better chances of being admitted, because it's always a holistic review. So not only about your grades. Now, a bit about Forward as an institution. Here you can see our 4 great pillars. So first of all, there are 2 different kinds of bachelors offered here at Forward. There are the bachelors awarded by the University of London. These are designed by the London School of Economics or by King's College London. And together, combined with Forward's approach to teaching and to its educational model, it makes for a totally different experience while combining these the British academic excellence with this new concept. There are also Forward College's own bachelor degrees, such as the Open Bachelors, that you can customize according to your own preferences as you go through the 3 years, and two new bachelors that just started receiving applicants this year. So one of them is PPE, Philosophy, Politics, and Economics, and the second one is PPLE, so Psychology, Politics, Law, and Economics. Regarding the high quality teaching, since Forward is focused on having small class sizes with an average of 15 students per class and the cohort is usually quite small, you will not feel only like a number. You will feel like a person who is known and who gets to have actual meaningful interaction with both your colleagues and also with our professors, which we call the fellows here at Forward. And that really does have an impact on your whole educational experience. Now, one of the most important pillars that's usually one of the most appealing is the international factor. So not only are our cohorts made up of students from all over the world, during your program here at Forward, you will have the chance to study at 3 different countries in 3 years. So the first year you'll spend in Lisbon, the second in Paris, and the third in Berlin. And then, should you choose there are 3 different levels of intensity. Should you choose the Bachelor's Plus or the Double Bachelor's, you can also benefit from the leadership programs, which will give you key skills and competencies to use once you get into the labor market. Now, before starting your application, you should think, is Forward College right for me? And am I right for Forward College? So this is for you to get to know a bit about what our typical students have in common. So usually a strong academic background. So they are good students with solid grades. They are fluent in English or very good English speakers. This is particularly important considering that classes are 100% taught in English. Okay, so it's very important to have a good English level. And they are also students who have been quite active in their communities aside from going to class and performing well in class. So students who take part in extracurricular activities, sports, or any other projects. Now, what do our students typically want from their college experience? These are curious students, these are very dynamic students who are looking to have a different experience from what traditional teaching usually offers in higher education. So they are interested in learning about different cultures, being in a multicultural environment, studying in a more customized setting, so with a lot of interaction and gaining hands-on experience. So not having a passive approach to learning. If this is what you are looking for, then Forward College is the place for you. Here you can take a look at the profiles of 4 of our students. As you can see here, all of them are enrolled in different programs, and their backgrounds are vastly different. But what they do have in common is that all of them are very curious about this international learning experience. They love traveling. They wanted to have a different experience in higher education. And they are really active aside from just regular going to classes. Clarence, if you can tell us a bit about your own journey before joining Forward.
Of course. So I'm from Brussels. So I studied in Brussels. I was initially in the traditional Belgian system in French, and then I moved to the international system where I did the IB, for those who know, so the International Baccalaureate, where I took higher levels in chemistry, theater, and business. And then I went straight to Ford as a business student in double bachelor.
Okay, so once again, a very different background, but what you have in common with all of these students in the slide is that you really wanted this very particular higher education experience. Okay, so here we are going to let you know a bit about our three different campuses. So the Lisbon campus, Paris, and Berlin. And yeah, a bit about the accommodations and what it looks like to really go through the 3 years here at Forward. So Clarence, take it away.
Yes, so as you all probably know, Ford College is across three cities. So the first year you'll all be in Lisbon, second year in Paris, and third year in Berlin. So we're going to go through the different campuses and your life there. So starting with Lisbon, um, this is actually the learning center you see. It's in the very center of the city. Lisbon is a beautiful place. It's very sunny, a lot of international students. If we go to the next slide, you'll see our first learning center. So this is Soriano. It's actually quite new. And it's a very big learning center. In the heart, we have a terrace. There's also a meditation room, as you see here. So for more chill environment, maybe very quiet studying. This is our second learning center, the initial one called Flores, which is very close to the other. They're both very central, very close to the sea too, so downtown Lisbon. Another meditation room in the second learning center. Both have a terrace. So it's really not just a place to have your classes, but it's also a place to meet with your peers, to enjoy the nice weather and take a break. You also have study areas or to maybe meet with your teachers if you have questions. Then in Lisbon, we all, almost everybody will live in the accommodation. So it's called Chior. It's in Benfica. And we actually have a co-working space there that is just for us, which you see, where we do a lot of our group work, individual study, or even some events. For example, this. So we also have a lot of community events there, whether that's for Christmas, for holidays, or just for birthdays. Like it's a very nice place. Then this is the student residence, so right next to the co-working. It's called Chior, as I was saying, and you can either have two types of rooms. So this is the traditional type of room, and then you can also have one with a small kitchen of your own. You all have your own bathrooms, and you can choose to share a kitchen. Um, and then the next picture is, yeah, your student life in Lisbon. So we all start with 2 weeks of induction, which is 2 weeks of getting to know the city, the people. So these are some examples of the activities we do. All really good to get to know the people you're going to study with for 3 years. So there's a day where we go surfing, we have a tour of the city. You also get to meet your teachers and be familiar with the city and the learning centers. And this system of induction weeks, you also have in second and third year, but there it's only 1 week. So moving on to Paris, which is also a beautiful city, where you actually get to live if you choose the residence is on campus. So what you see on this picture is where you will live and where you will study. So this is a really nice place. It's called Cité Universitaire Internationale. It's in the 14th in Paris, and it's a huge international campus with many students, whether PhD or masters coming from everywhere. So we have our own classrooms there. Each classroom has a little nice cozy area with a couch. Only Forward College. This is our co-working, but you also have a big library in the Cité. So Cité has a lot of facilities. There's a library. It's a huge campus, so you have many sports too. A lot of facilities also for activities like art, music, music studios. There's a pool. And so by living there, you really benefit from all these amazing advantages, all where you live, and you can join not only the forward clubs, but also the Cité clubs, which have much more people. And then living on Cité, you have the choice between three types of accommodation. So this is one of the three, which is Deutsch de la Meurthe, where you share a kitchen, but not a bathroom. And then you have one building where you share both, and then one where you have studios, so where you share neither. So it's quite nice to have this choice. This one particularly, the Schleimeut, is in a park within Cité, so it's a very nice place. Yeah, and then the student life in Paris. For those who know, Paris is a very culturally rich city, so you have loads of museums, a lot of places to explore. It's quite much bigger than Lisbon, so there's a lot more to do, which is very fun. A lot of restaurants, bars, you name it. So it's a beautiful city to live in, I would say. Then moving on to Berlin, this is also a learning center, which is actually a startup hub in a sense. So it's in this building, there's a lot of startups who have offices. It's called CIC, it's in Berlin. And it's a very nice place. So we will have our classes there, but the student residences of Ford are outside the learning center. So this learning center, we have common spaces that we all share, but you also have spaces that are, so this is the cafeteria of the CIC. And then moving on, we also have conferences there. So this is also great for Ford students to, like it's the last year, you're more maybe job oriented or masters. There's a lot of talks there of professionals that we have access to too. Then the student accommodation, there's actually a wider range in Berlin. You have the choice between four different accommodation. This is one of them where you share a flat with three people, which is really nice. Or you also have a more student residence opportunity, which is kind of like Chior in Lisbon, where it's more of a hotel, you could say, where you have your own room and your own kitchen. So there's quite a lot of diversified options in Berlin, which is really nice. And for the student life, Berlin is a very big city. It's very dynamic, startup wise, very international. I was told that almost everybody speaks fluent English there, a lot of parks. So it's a great city to. I know that a lot of Ford students actually end up finding jobs there and stay there after Ford, or many also go for masters abroad. Thank you. So, should I continue?
Thank you. I was struggling a bit to turn on the microphone. Thank you very much for
Nice.
your insights. It really is a whole journey inside of a bachelor's degree. So all three cities are very different, and Forward chose to organize them like this in order to actually at first allow you to meet your peers and create this bubble where you all get to know each other in Lisbon and then progress to these bigger cities which allow you to expand your network. Okay, so moving on to the application properly said. How can you apply? Who can apply at first? There's remember these two different types of bachelors, so the ones awarded by the University of London and the ones awarded by Forward College. For the ones awarded by the University of London, the eligibility requirements are a bit more strict. So I would advise you to scan this QR code. You can also find this eligibility test on our website, and it asks you a couple of questions, and you give a bit of information about your own educational system, and it helps you to figure out whether you would be eligible for the University of London degrees. Regarding Forward College's degrees, all of national and international educational systems are usually considered eligible, so you are more than welcome to apply. You can apply either on your final year of studies or after graduating. And here on the right side, you can see that these are the most widely known educational systems, okay, but it's not exclusive at all, but just for you to have an idea of what are the typical minimum entry requirements, so for both A levels and for international baccalaureate students. Once again, an important reminder, we are currently on our third wave of applications for the 2026 intake. So 2 waves have already gone by and the third wave is also flying by. So until the end of this month, we strongly encourage you to apply. As you are aware, applicants who wish to apply for financial aid should particularly apply earlier, because our funds are attributed in a first come, first served basis. So the earlier you apply, the higher are your chances not only of granting a spot here at Forward, but also of getting your financial aid support approved. Okay, now a step-by-step. First, you start out by filling out the application form. This form is available on our website. You just need to register and create an account for yourself. Make sure to use an email address that you can always have access to. This is important. And then you fill out the form. We will go through the entire form later on in this webinar. After you submit your application, you are highly recommended to book a student conversation with one of our student ambassadors, such as Clarence. If you choose his degree, you might get a chance to speak to him. And this is a really good opportunity to not only to practice for your interview, but also to get like this student insights that you won't be able to get from any of us admission officers, because we aren't students. So this is a really great opportunity to really understand what it's like to study at Forward College. Then, after this initial review of your application, you will receive an email where you might be invited for an interview. This interview is fully online, lasts around 30 minutes, and it's with a member of our team. And here for the interview, it will mainly go around your extracurricular activities and what you told us about yourself and your profile in your application form. 2 weeks after the interview, you can expect your final decision to check whether you were admitted or not. What to prepare once you are starting your application. High school transcripts, very important. Without this, we are unable to assess your application. So please make sure to have transcripts for at least the last 2 terms of your studies in school, okay? And also, if you are currently studying at another university and want to study with us instead, please make sure to also upload your university transcripts as updated as can be. In terms of English proficiency, you can either submit your English proficiency certificate at the moment, like when you apply, which is preferred. If it's already available, then perfect. In case it's not, you can still take your tests and send us the certificate until, I would say, the late July. Okay, that's the recommended. It's always necessary unless you are a native English speaker, of course, or you have studied entirely in English during the entirety of your high school years. Aside from this, also an important part of your application is evidence of extracurricular activities. So everything you mentioned, it's good that you can support it by a certificate, a video, a portfolio, or any sort of proof that you actually did what you say you did. So if you have all these documents that you wish to send to us, then you have a dedicated space to upload them in the application form. The form itself, it's very simple. So you simply go to our website and click on Apply Now, and you will get this screen. If you don't have an account yet, you can click on Start Your Application and set up your account. If you already have an account, you just fill in your credentials and proceed with the application where you had left it previously. So first of all, we will ask for a few personal details. So name, nationality, address, date of birth, nothing too out of the ordinary. The address is important because in case you are admitted, we will be sending you an official admission package with some important information. So please make sure to fill this out and include the door and apartment number. This is a common issue. Then we move on to the academic background section. Here, we need a bit more info about what you are currently studying, where you are studying, what's the name of your school, and what are your current qualifications. Here, please let us know if you are still studying or if you are currently in school, or if you are currently already attending university. Now, on to the next section, personal accomplishments. This section is many times overlooked by students, but it's really one of the most important in the entire application form. So we have two different spaces here, where on the first one, we ask you to tell us what you do that you find important outside of class. So aside from studying, aside from classes, if you are involved in any sort of projects, if you have any activities such as sports, or if you play an instrument or any other relevant activity you are doing, if you work, if it's a part-time job, if you're doing an internship, all of this can be mentioned right here. Remember, you have 4,000 characters to spend here, so write as much as you want until this limit. And then for the second space, we ask you to go a bit deeper into what these experiences meant to you and brought to you as a person. So this can be either an essay, or you can also record a video, for example, and link it in this space. And here it's a point where you tell us more, not only about what you learned, but also about your motivations, why you are applying, where did you find your interest for this degree, and why you want to study with us. So this is really important. I would advise you to take a bit of time building your responses, because since it's an holistic evaluation, this does have a lot of weight in your application. Then finally, you choose which degrees you wish to apply for. Okay, make sure to also signal which level of intensity you prefer. Remember, there's the simple academic bachelor's, there's the bachelor's plus, which includes leadership certificates, and then there's also the double bachelor's, which includes the bachelor's from either LSE or KCL, and also the business and leadership bachelor's, which will be awarded by Forward College. Also, if you see at the bottom of the screen, there's the one question you will get while filling out the application form regarding financial aid. So this is all we need to know from you at this point, is whether you want to be considered or not for financial aid. In case you choose yes, after the application is assessed, and should you be invited for an interview, you will then receive access to the financial aid form, which is a separate form also within this platform that you are able to fill out and give us all details to be evaluated for financial aid attribution. And finally, so the part of the application where you can submit your documents. At first, your transcripts, both high school and, if that's the case, university transcripts. English certificate, if you already have one. If you don't, you can submit it later. No worries about that. And also the personal accomplishment supporting documents. So the ones we spoke about earlier, portfolios, videos, certificates, anything you wish to add, you can add it here. And then you click on the submit button, and after that point, you can no longer go back and edit your application, but should you want to change anything, you can always send us an email and we'll make sure to edit it. After this point, you are invited to book the student conversation. So there's plenty of students ambassadors, and when you choose your main area of interest, one of them is attributed to you. Once again, this is a really great option to get an inside look into Forward. So we truly do advise you to book a student conversation. And let's imagine you submitted your application, it was reviewed, it was considered promising. you are invited for an admissions interview. This might seem scary, but it's not. Okay, it's not a job interview. It's a good chance for you to realize whether you are a good fit for Forward and whether Forward is a good fit for you, if it's a perfect match. Okay, so not only will you be asked questions by the interviewer, you are also very welcome to ask your own questions. Okay, this is a shared process in the interview. But some important tips for you to prepare are: prepare your pitch. So you will start and will need to make a brief introduction about yourself. You are meeting this new person who took a look at your application, but who doesn't know you. So it's important for you to tell them a bit about your interests, who are you, what you're studying, and what you would like to take from this experience, why you applied. Then tell the interviewer a bit about the degrees you are applying for. Why these degrees? Why those particular levels of intensity, either bachelor's, bachelor's plus, or double bachelor's? It's okay if you're not sure yet. That's okay. They will help you and will guide you through which of these different types of intensity entail. And also be prepared to discuss how this degree can integrate your aspirations for your future. How will this help you progress into what you wish to do with your life? Then, this is always important. You don't need to be a Forward College expert by any means, but it's always nice to know that students did a bit of research while they were applying. So show that you know what the concept is, what the mission is, what we do here at Forward, how the program works. Okay, just basic knowledge so you don't go blindly into the interview. And then the interview will revolve mainly around your extracurriculars. So be prepared to speak about what these experiences meant to you. The interviewer has access to your reflective essay and to the extracurriculars list. So pick up some main takeaways that you can use and that are particularly important to share on your interview. Some very important tips here, which may not sound like much, but really do make a difference. Make sure you have the correct time for your interview and confirm everything regarding the time zones. Okay, it's a common mistake. It's not a deal breaker. Okay, we can always try and figure out a solution, but really, it's important to make sure you have the correct date and time. Sound and video, okay? Make sure you are in a place with no or little to no external noise, not on the street preferably, and that the interviewer can see you and hear you. Have some questions prepared, okay? Something that you wish to know beforehand. So when the interviewer asks you, is there anything you'd like to know? You already have something that you would really like to know from someone who has been working here for a while or who has studied here previously. Again, if you think that the interviewer did not fully understand a part of what you wrote in your reflective essay or what you explained on the interview, it is completely fine to mention that again or explaining in a different way or saying that, oh, I think I didn't make myself clear enough. So this is always better than feeling that things weren't sufficiently explained. Okay, so always feel free to bring that up. And also the interview will be in English, but it's all right if you are not like a fluent, perfect English speaker. Okay, neither of us here is a native English speaker, but we get by, we can understand, and we can speak. Okay, if there's small mistakes, it's completely fine. It's likely that your interviewer is not a native English speaker as well, so of course they will understand. These are our current interviewers. So once you book your interview, you will be assigned one of these colleagues of ours, and yeah, they will be the ones interviewing you. Now, after this entire process, you get interviewed. 2 weeks later, you will receive your final application decision. After this moment, you have 2 further weeks to decide whether you wish to enroll with us. Okay? Then, once you start your enrollment process, you need to go to your personal area, choose to accept the offer. There's a specific button for that, and that will open the enrollment form for you. After that, you fill out the form and you secure your place by paying the deposit fee. The deposit fee corresponds to 20% of your yearly tuition fee. After this is done, you are officially a Forward College student, and you will receive an email from our campus manager in Lisbon telling you all you need to know about housing. You have guaranteed housing options available in the 3 different countries, but of course there's a process of booking and choosing, so they will help you throughout all of that. Prepare everything you need for your move. They will help you out if you need a visa, student residence, and anything in the likes. And then in September, we are waiting for you to join us here in Lisbon to start this journey. Now, very important, some common mistakes to avoid. Deadlines. Once again, we are on the 3rd wave of applications. It ends on March 31st, so make sure to apply by then. After that, we have one more wave, but it could be the case that all spots are taken before this final wave. Or for your specific program, all spots are already taken. So we really do advise you to apply as soon as you gather all of the necessary documentation. Generic applications. I know everyone uses at some point in their life the help of AI tools, but be aware that we do look through several applications. And if you want yours to stand out and just not be one of thousands, make sure that it's authentic and that you put some actual effort and work into it. Details in instructions. Everything is explained either on the website or on our emails that we send regularly, okay? If you have any sort of question, you can always email us back or give us a call. All of the information is on our website. Just make sure you are clear on what you have to do and what are the deadlines. Documents. Please send your documents in PDF format. This does save us a ton of work and makes sure that they are easy to read and easy to process and that we can access them. Okay, so if possible and whenever it is possible, please do send them in PDF format. Proofreading, very important. Of course, sometimes mistakes happen. It's all right. But make sure to review your entire application before you actually submit it. And if you then notice, I didn't write this as I wanted to, or I forgot to write something down, just send us an email and we can manually alter it directly on the platform for you. And then finally, of course, you can always ask for help if at any point in the process you feel a bit lost or are not sure on how to proceed. Here you have all of our contacts. So this is our main admissions email, admissions@forward-college.eu. If you have emailed this email address at some point, it's likely that you've already spoken to me via email. And you are also very welcome to give us a call or send us a WhatsApp message. We always keep an eye on those as well. We have our student ambassadors, so you can email them or schedule a chat. We also have a lot of events, webinars, and also in-person events. I've already spoken about our open day, which will take place this month. So late this month, you can still sign up by going to this link or to our website. And we will have a second open day also in Paris in May. So if you can't make it this time around in March, there's always the chance of you coming by in May. And it's honestly a very good opportunity to not only to know the Paris campus, but also to chat with admissions officers, meet some of the fellows, meet some of the students, and really figure out what it's like to be a student at Forward College. You are also very welcome to take a look at our website, do a bit of research. There's our brochure there. You can also find very important information from either former students, feedback, employability information. So everything is available on the website. If you can find it, you are welcome to email us. And here are our team of admission officers and recruitment officers. If you go to a student recruitment fair, it's likely that one of us will be there at some point. So make sure to come by and say hi and clarify any questions you may have, okay? Or also email any of us and we will help you out. And you can also follow Forward College in all sorts of social media. Okay, now is the time for questions. Let's see if there are still some. I can see that some of them have been replied already. So, what distinguishes successful applicants from those who are not selected? This is a very good question. As I was saying earlier, a good applicant is not only someone who gets excellent grades and has an A in everything. Okay, there's much more beyond that. A good applicant is also someone who really puts effort into their application, who doesn't focus solely on school and on grades, who is involved in their community, either by volunteer work, community service, and really wants to make an impact, and who shows real motivation to go after their aspirations. So you can always include this. So Laura asks, for the evidence of extracurricular activities, how should I provide documentation if it is in a different language? That is all right. No worries about that. You can still submit any certificates or any, if you want to submit letters of recommendation, it's not mandatory, but you can do so as well. And we will make sure to translate it so we can understand it, okay? So no worries, no need to translate these documents in specific to English. Here regarding English certifications, you already have a reply with all of the certifications we currently accept. There are several, so IELTS, TOEFL, Pearson Test of English, Duolingo, and also Cambridge Advanced. There are several different options for you. And how many students there are for the academic year? So each cohort is composed of around 120 students, so pretty tight-knit. Regarding housing, housing prices are not included in the tuition fee, so it's guaranteed. You have a secured spot in our student residences, but the price is not a part of the tuition fees. There are any other questions? Feel free to let us know. Valentina, so there is a space to upload a CV. You can upload it in the supporting documents section. One important thing about that section is that sometimes students want to upload a lot of things, but there's only this one space. So what we do advise is, if you have several different documents, either combine them all into one single PDF file, or adds links to that file so we can access the different documents. Like if you have a CV, if you have a video, you want to share anything in the likes, just on one document, combine all of them, or you can always, if you want to just submit your CV instead of several different documents, then you are free to do so as well. Okay, let me see if we have more questions. So once again, reminding you that it's all right if you don't have your English certificate by the time you apply, you can submit it later. Magnus asks if it is okay to join the Open Day in March, although you are still in the middle of the application process. Of course. Of course. All students are welcome to our Open Day, students and parents, of course, even if you are not applying just yet. Let's say you are on 11th grade. You're not even applying for college right now, but you want to get to know Forward College. You are welcome to join our Open Day, okay? You can register on our website and you can get a better grasp of what we do here at Forward. Valentina asks about subject-specific requirements. Yes, for some of the degrees, we do. Okay, you can check all of this on our website under academic requirements and entry requirements, all right? For example, if you are applying for the BSc in economics or for the BSc in data science and business analytics, there are some a bit higher mathematics requirements, okay? For example, if you are an A-level student, you are expected to take the mathematics A-level and to achieve an A, okay? However, let's say that you are applying to some other courses, like some that involve economics, but are not, or business, but are not necessarily data science or economics. There's still the mathematics requirement, but it's a bit lower, okay, because the mathematics component is not as dense. But let's say you don't fulfill the requirement. That does not mean that you are automatically ineligible, because you can still do these University of London sponsored tests. There's the LSE Maths Essentials test for almost all of the social sciences programs. And there's also the mathematics aptitude test for students who are applying for psychology but don't meet the mathematics subject requirements, okay? So that's always an option that is available for you. Laura asks if it helps with your application if you join the Open Day. Not directly, but it is a good opportunity for you to show us in your application that you know our campus, our Paris campus, that you've met with admissions officers, with our students. So it's always, it brings a lot of important detail to your application. Gala asks, what is the number of students accepted in each subject? I'm assuming you meant for each degree. It does vary each year, okay? But what's important to know is that for each individual class, the number of students does not go far beyond 15 students, okay? So it's always close, not many students per class at all. Regarding the double bachelor's, bachelor's plus, and the single bachelor's, how we call it, or our academic bachelor's, there is a difference in terms of workload, more specifically. So if you, let's say, are involved in several activities outside of college, If you have like a very, very busy lifestyle, I would say either the bachelor's or bachelor's plus would be more advised, because the double bachelor's, and Clarence can can help me here, it does entail a bit of extra efforts, and because the workload is on a different level, right?
Yes, so for double bachelors, you'll have three extra courses a week. So you have for the LSE part, you have four courses on your on the year. So you have four courses, each is 2 hours a week, and then if you take the double bachelor, you'll have a language course extra, a personal development course they call it, and a project-based learning course. So those are the three courses extra you'll have a week. So you have 6 hours of class extra per week. Yeah.
That does make a difference
It
at the
makes a
end
difference, yeah.
of the week. But yeah, by the end of it, you also get two different bachelors. So it does make up for all the effort. But just for everyone to be aware that there is this difference in terms of workload. Valentina asks, do you accept recommendation letters sent directly to you, or should students upload them directly on the website? However you prefer, really. If you ask a professor or some other entity to send us a recommendation letter, they can do so to our admissions at forward-college.eu email. Just make sure that they mention your full name and, if possible, your email address. Okay, so we can make sure that we match each person to their recommendation letters. If you already have them yourself, you are welcome to upload them directly on the platform under the supporting documents section. Okay. So yeah, Ginebra already got her response, but if you're not seeing the chat, I'm just going to read it out loud. So she asked if IGCSE grades were important. And yes, these are important for meeting entry requirements, but really, what will differentiate a student from other students in other applications is the rest. So of course, it's always good to have good grades, and that is obviously an important part of a college application. But it's not the only thing that matters. So if you are thinking, my grades are so average, I'm not the top student in my class, you can make up for it. You can make up for it with projects, with other different activities that you do. But specifically regarding IGCSEs, yes, it's important to have like this general view of your journey so far until you reach A levels, but specifically IGCSEs are not enough to assess your eligibility. So you would always need the A levels. Also important, because most times students forget about this. If you have performed AS levels, please also include those grades and those transcripts of records in the documents that you send us. Okay, if you don't, or if you didn't and you have already filled out your application, it's all right. There's just a very high likelihood that I will email you asking for them. Any other questions? We have a few minutes left.
If any of you have questions on more the student life aspect or the life in three cities, don't hesitate.
This is the time. Give us all your questions, existential doubts. Yeah, if you do have the opportunity to join one of our open days, I really recommend it. Um, Back in the old days when I was myself applying for for my undergraduate degree, I did go to several open days, and it gives you a very good idea of what you can expect from each college. So instead of just researching online, of course that helps, and chatting with students, with admissions officers, that is helpful, of course. But if you have the chance to see it in person, it's honestly um, it's honestly a good recommendation.
And I don't know if this was mentioned, but the open day for Ford College is in Paris.
Yeah, correct. If you are not able to make it to the open day, you can still book campus visits on our website. So if you want to visit the Lisbon campus or the Berlin campus, you can do so. Just go to our website and we will find an available spot for you. You can bring your parents along, or you can bring a friend along if you are interested, and we will give you a guided tour. Okay, how many hours of classes do we have per week?
Yeah, so as I was saying, the LSC part of your diploma includes 4 classes a year, and so each will be a 2-hour seminar, they call it. So that's your class. So 2 hours per course per week. So you have four for LSC, that's 8 hours. And then if you take double bachelor, you have 3 extra courses, so 6 extra hours per week. Um, Double bachelor also includes you having a year-long project with a team, but that's something you work on outside of class. And then for Bachelor Plus, it's a bit of an in-between. So you will have the language class, but the personal development and the project-based learning will be softer, so less amount of classes than in double bachelor. Yeah. Are internships always done in Berlin? No, you can do your internship wherever you want. Um, it's often easier for the students to find that internship either in their home country or in the city they're living in. So, whether it's that Berlin or Paris, I'm looking for one in Paris, for example, for the moment. So it's really wherever you want to. You just need to get it approved by Ford, if I'm not mistaken. The next one, is there a lot of competition for the grades? Maybe you can answer this one.
Hmm. Okay, I would say, considering this is such a different approach to education, and considering the community is so close knit, um, I believe students are so used to working in groups, and they know each other so well that each of them is trying to give the best of themselves. And it's not like everyone, of course, wants to be the best, but there's not like unbridled competition where you absolutely need to be the best in everything.
Yeah, sorry, maybe I should have answered this one. I thought they were asking about grades and application, but in once you're in Ford, um, I think most people in Ford are ambitious and they want to perform well, but it's not competitive whatsoever. We're a small cohort, and will tend to help each other rather than compete. Ford has a lot of community, like community is quite important, and we have a lot of group activities, whether that's in class or what they call learning cells. So it's like group homework. So we're very close to your peers, and I wouldn't say it's a competitive environment. I mean, if you are a competitive person, then you'll compete, but it's not a competitive environment.
Okay, we have time for one more question. And it's the same for all double bachelor degrees, even if we're not doing an LSC degree. I'm assuming the schedule.
So the double bachelor, how I described it, is the one combined with LSE. So yes, the schedule is for all LSE degrees, what I described. And then I know that the open bachelors, so which is not with LSE, also have a component. I think I'm actually not sure if you can do open bachelor, double bachelor, but I believe that
Yes.
is something different. So yeah, maybe you can.
Yes, the composition of the program is a bit different. Okay, so there are other um, courses, of course, and you are the one deciding which major and minor you choose. But the workload would be similar to a double bachelor's by the LSE. Okay, everyone. Our time is up. Thank you very much for your questions. Thank you very much for joining us here on this webinar today. If you have any further questions, you can always email us at admissions@forward-college.eu. And you are also welcome to book student conversations with one of our student ambassadors.
Thank you, everyone.